Good morning, class. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. What's your response to that? 1, 2, eyes on you. Very good. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. 1, 2, eyes on you. Very good. So today, for our lesson, we're going to be reading a book entitled Officer Buckle and Gloria. And just from the cover, we can make some pretty strong predictions. So I'm just going to ask you a couple questions. Who do we think this guy is right here? It's probably Officer Buckle, right? Officer Buckle. And what kind of job do we think he has? What is he wearing? He's wearing a uniform, right? A police officer's uniform. So he's probably a police officer. And then who do we think Gloria is? Gloria might be this one up here, right? And what is she doing? She's doing something really crazy. She's doing a backflip. Now, how many of you have dogs? Yeah? Can any of your dogs do backflips like that? That's really high. Look how high she is. Yeah, mine can't either. But today we're going to be reading about Gloria, who can do backflips. But before we start reading this book, we first have to learn about some very important things. We have to learn about what the characters are, what the setting is, and what plot means. So first we're going to go over what a character is. And a character is a person or creature that interacts in a story. And each character in the story has different traits to describe who they are and their personality. So if we were going to use myself, let's pretend that I'm a character in a book, right? And how might we describe my character traits? We could describe me as being happy with a big smile. Could also describe me as being silly with a crazy face like this, oh, like that. So happy or silly could be character traits that we could use to describe me. Now let's look at some character traits using examples in books. All right, so first we have a book called Know David. So just from the title and from this picture, who do we think that the character, the main character in the book is? Right, probably David. This is probably David. That's what the prediction that we can make. And let's see, from this picture, what do we think a character trait for David might be? You could probably say energetic, right? That would be a good character trait for David because look, he's bouncing up on the bed, he has a crazy mask on, and he doesn't want to go to bed. So he could be described as energetic. Another book that we can look at is called Sylvester and the Magic Pebble. And just from this picture right here, what kind of character trait can we give Sylvester and his family? I would say loving. Loving would be a good character trait to give Sylvester and his family. And last, we have a book called Caps for Sale. And this picture here, what is he doing? He's shaking his fists in the air, right? Can I see everyone shake their fists in the air? Very good. And this one, he's stomping his foot and shaking his fists, right? So what character trait might we describe this man? Perhaps angry? Angry is a good one. Good job. All right. So angry might be a character trait. And who's the main character in this book? Just from the cover. Yeah, the guy who's asleep in the tree, right there. So next we're going to move on to a book's setting. And a setting in a book is where the action takes place. And so every book has a specific setting where all this action, where all the characters take place. So again, let's look at books to give us some examples. First one we're going to look at is called Clack Clack Moo, Cows That Type. So just from using the pictures, we can make predictions. So where do we think this setting in this book, where do we think the setting of the book is? A farm. A farm could be a pretty accurate prediction. Why do we know that? Who's this guy here? He's a farmer, right? He has his straw hat, he's ready to go to work. And what's this over here? It's a big red barn. Two things that you would probably find on a farm. So we can make the prediction that the setting, and what's the setting? Everyone say it. Setting is the place where the action happens. So the setting for this book would probably be on a farm. And then next, again, looking at the book that we're going to read today, we have Officer Buckle and Gloria. And where does it look like this picture where does it look like that's going on? What's the setting? In a school, right? How do we know that? Because they're sitting at desks, just like you guys do, right? And what else? There's a chalkboard, and we have a whiteboard. So that's the setting. So one of the settings that for the book that we're going to read, Officer Buckle and Gloria, is in a school. All right, so the last thing that we need to look at and figure out is the plot. And the plot is all the juicy things that happen in the story. And it usually has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So let's say, for example, that you were writing a story about brushing your teeth. The plot would have a beginning, which is you going to the sink, wetting your toothbrush, and putting your toothpaste on. Then the middle would be the actual you brushing your teeth in front of the mirror. And then the ending would be you closing the toothpaste, you clearing your toothbrush off and putting back your toothbrush into where it belongs. So that's the sequence of events, the beginning, the middle, and the end. So what are the three things that a plot has? A beginning, a middle, and an end. Very good. So now it's time for us to read this book, Officer Buckle and Gloria. Are you guys excited? I am too. This is one of my favorite books. So we really want to make sure that we're paying attention to the characters. And who did we think that the characters were in this book? Officer Buckle and Gloria, right? And we already found one of the settings, right? What was the setting that we found in this book? A school, good. And then we are going to, once we read the book, we're going to figure out the plot. All right, so be looking for those key elements as we read. Officer Buckle knew more safety tips than anyone else in Gnapville. Every time he thought of a new one, he thumbtacked to his bulletin board. Safety tip number 77, never stand on a swivel chair. Why is this one of his rules? Because what's happening? What's a swivel chair? A swivel chair is one of the ones that spins, right? It has wheels at the bottom. So why is that unsafe? As we can see here. Because you can fall off really easily. So that's safety tip number 77, according to Officer Buckle. Then one day, Gnapville Police Department bought a police dog named Gloria. So we were right, weren't we? We were right when we looked at the cover. This is Gloria, just like we said. Officer Buckle gave safety tip number 1, keep your shoelaces tied. The children sat up and stared. Now, why do we think they're staring? What is Gloria doing in this picture? She is sitting up and standing on her hind legs. The children's eyes popped. Now, what does that mean? What does it mean for your eyes to pop? Right? Get really, really wide. Can I see everyone's eyes popping? Everyone's eyes popping. Pop your eyes. Very good. Then one day, a television news team videotaped Officer Buckle at the State College Auditorium. When he was finished, safety tip number 99, do not go swimming during electrical storms. The students jumped to their feet and applauded. What do we think applauded means? What are these children doing, especially this one? They're clapping, right? So can we all give applause? Good. That night, Officer Buckle watched himself on the 10 o'clock news. And what expression does he have on his face here? He's surprised. He's so surprised. Why? Right, because he's never seen Gloria do those things. That's totally new to him. safety tip number 101. Always stick with your buddy. So now that we've finished the book, we're going to work together on a worksheet about the book that we just read. So this worksheet is going to help us figure out the major plot lines in the story. So let's try the first one together. In the beginning of the story, Officer Buckle was... Let me hear some examples. Excited. Excited is a good one. Now I want you to turn to a partner and try to do the next two together. This worksheet that I've just passed out will help us independently go over the story elements of the Officer Buckle and Gloria. So first it asks you for the setting, and then the characters, which I know you guys can do. Then it asks the problem and the solution. And if you're having trouble thinking about these two, think about how the children were behaving before Officer Buckle received Gloria, and then how Officer Buckle and Gloria were able to work together. The next three boxes ask the beginning, middle, and end. So if we remember from our beginning of the class, what is the beginning, middle, and end? It's the plot. Very good. The last section just asks you your favorite part. My favorite part was when everyone got totally slimed by the banana pudding. That was my favorite part. And then if you finish early, feel free to go grab some crayons, and then you can even draw a picture for each of those boxes. All right, so today we learned about character, setting, and plot. So those are the three things that we went over, and I want you to make sure that you understand those, because tomorrow we're going to be reading another book and we're going to be filling out the same worksheet. All right, so then before you guys can go to recess, I want you to flip over that worksheet and I want you to name one character trait of Officer Buckle and one character trait of Gloria.